Hi, I'm Charles Jeffreys at Seattle Central College, and this video is going to be on lifespan development for my Psychology 200 lifespan development class. So we can title this one Introduction to Lifespan, or Assumptions. They're basically some assumptions of lifespan psychology. And here are the assumptions. Development is lifelong, development is multi-dimensional, development is plastic. Development of science is a multidisciplinary institution. Also, developmental is contextual. Development involves growth, maintenance, and regulation of loss. And also, development is a co-construction of biology, culture, and the individual. So first, let's go over development is lifelong. In other words, development starts with conception and ends with death. Okay, there are two terms that come up when you talk about developmental psychology. Talking about lifespan, life expectancy. Lifespan is how long a person has potential to live. Life expectancy is how long a person is expected to live. Now, the way our cells divide, we have the potential to live to be about maybe 114 to 120 something years old. Okay, but in reality, because of stress and diseases and viruses and everything, and all the issues we go through, usually life expectancy is different. And life span hasn't changed. Although life expectancy happened. As we were 1900, life expectancy was right around 47, 49. Today, 2020, life expectancy somewhere around in mid 70s, about 78 for women, about 70 so for men. Okay, and listen, how did life expectancy go from 47 to 70 over 30 years in just in a century? Well, let's talk about medicine, antibiotics, aspirin, fever. So technology played a large role of it, but even little things, antibiotics. I mean, at one time, someone was diagnosed pneumonia, they just wait for them to die. Nowadays, take a Z-Pack, Monday, you're better. Okay, so I said lifespan is the same, it hasn't changed. Somewhere we're expecting, whereas life expectancy is basically what is increased. Okay, also another assumption is that it's multidimensional. Lifespan is multidimensional. You have basically three dimensions of lifespan. You have the biological dimension, you have the cognitive dimension, and you have the social emotional dimension. Biological, that's our bodies. Okay, we're talking about all through the course, talk primary aging versus secondary aging. In other words, primary aging, you have no control over that. You're as old as you are. You're going to get so much older. As you get older, your body's going to change, make these changes no matter what you do. Secondary aging, though, you do have control over to a certain. It's talking about lifestyle, diet, exercise. Okay, and always remember that. Think about it. So it's a biological factor, but the biological factor could also influence your cognitive, your ability to process information or thinking. Okay, because when people are sick or certain disorders, their ability to process information declines. Okay, as you lose your memory, your cognitive goes down. Okay, and the social emotional, how you interact with people, your friends, family, all those things. Are you in a happy marriage? Are you in a sad marriage? Or is your life stressful? Is your life enjoyable? All that kind of ties into your social emotional. So those are the three dimensions, okay, of lifespan. Said biological, that's the physical. Cognitive is information, how you think or process information, and social, emotional is basically the people in your life or who you interact with. Also, development is plastic. Plastic means change, ability to change. Okay, plasticity, capacity to change. Okay, people can always improve their quality skills, even into the old age to a certain extent. However, as one gets older, particularly past 60s and 70s, your skills can improve through training, but the capacity to change is more difficult or decreases as one gets older. So like this plastic, in other words, it changes your life ability to change as you get older, adapt to your situations. What we're talking about with your plasticity. Okay. Another one is multidisciplinary. Think about lifespan. You look at the psychology, you look at the anthropology, you look at the biology, you look at the sociology, You look at neurology and also physiology. So all these disciplines come in to look at what lifespan is about. In other words, as a child grows older into the world from birth to about maybe 12 or 13, the socialization process kicks through. That's sociology and psychology. But also they're going through some physical changes as you go through. That's the biology and the anthropological. Culture does play a major influence on our behavior and so forth. So that's why I say neurology, your brain and nervous system, how emotions are controlled by certain structures of your brain, your amygdala, your limbic system, and so forth. So all that kind of ties, so they all kind of go together. It's also contextual. What is the context? I'm sure a lot of people say, well, you said something, but you took it out of context. So in other words, contextual. What context is this person developing in? And you have different terms that come up with contextual. You have normative age grading, and then you have normative history grading, and you have normative individualized life events. Okay, normative age grading. This is basically things that everybody goes through in life. In other words, from six, most people expect to go to elementary school at a certain time period. Most people go through puberty at a certain time period. Most people go through menopause. So it's basically looking at places in life where kind of everybody goes through changes. That's where normative age grading, normative history grading. In other words, now we're talking about cohorts. People born with a particular time period. Okay, so we're talking about historical events that's going on as a person's growing up. I'm sure kids who were born during World War II, they have a different mentality than kids who were born, let's say, who the baby boomers who were born watching television compared to the millennials who were born now knowing how to actually use computers. So all that we're talking about, in other words, normative history grade. In other words, you compare people based upon history. And you have normalized, individualized life events. In other words, these are things that the individual goes through. In other words, this person may have had a happy childhood over here. This other person may not have had a happy childhood. This individual grew up in a middle-class family, all that kinds of individualized. So those are three things that basically go, those are three of the things that contextual with contextual. You have normative age grading, normative history grading, and normalized individual events.